During the mid 1970s, dozens upon dozens of library albums were coming out on labels such as Pure International. One such record was by the project known as Powerhouse, and from the album 5 plus 4, the track Back to Front. Already I'm getting that kind of cop show vibe, that thriller, that action thriller type, like movie or TV show type, with the grainy Super 8 footage. The thing I love about these like jazz funk recordings from the UK is that you get the grit of like stateside funk, but from like a well-studied perspective by musicians who were nonetheless very kind of formal and mannered in their playing, and so you get like a polish and a compositional care put into the idiom that you're not like that you don't see as much of, say, from stateside acts. You also get some sounds that are very unique to the English studios, like that. There's that very kind of like manicured fuzz that I'm hearing that I just can't really pinpoint anywhere else. It's got a character of its own. It's very controlled, and it's playing melodies. It's adding to the thematic component. Hear those keyboard arpeggios kind of going up down, kind of like lights, like. Hear that fuzz? Tight pacing between the rhythm and the horns, and the drummer like throwing in like these extra beats and. It's a great period where drummers were, playing like lead instrumentalists. Like they were actually like each bar. Never let a bar just like have like a simple beat when you could be throwing in like fills at every turn, and just reminding listeners that you're, as much of a virtuoso as any of the more traditionally designated soloists. I love that. The drummer, kind of being an equal with the soloists. Hear that ringing fade right there? God, got so many details in there. Got that tinkly kind of ringing keyboard. Got the fuzz. Got the horns. Got the drum rolls just pummeling constantly. Yeah, a drummer who doesn't even need a solo to just take center stage. Let's hear another track from the album. And let's see. The person behind this is Al Newman, the composer. Yeah, that's pretty much the entirety of credits that are given. Yeah, released in the UK on Pure International Library Limited, and in the US on Southern Library of Recorded Music. I imagine that Powerhouse, if they could be considered a band, is just a bunch of like prolific studio musicians organized by the label and with him kind of overseeing the project. Another track, Injury Time. Hear the hear the mallets underneath the horns, just kind of glowing, adding that luminosity to the notes. C minor. Love kind of basically like a composed bass ostinato and a bunch of like solo and kind of improvised soloing going over it on like a Fender right here. The metric measures of this are hard to count. Leave a comment if you have any idea of what kind of film sequence this could be matched to. What was that sound toward the end? That kind of that was causing that one instrument to sort of blur and twist amid the vibes. Yeah, that one got strong ostinato pattern, kind of odd metric movements with some improvised keyboard and mallets, giving it kind of a contrast in tones. Let's hear one more track. False Start. It's rare to hear funk with such like an oblique grasp on metric. Some of the more like this unit goes into a lot of like arcane measures and counts and such that you don't hear on many American funk acts that tend to like whether studio based or kind of they tend to focus primarily on 4/4 with maybe an occasional like count taken out or something to for momentum, but now it's settled into a 4/4 like that's easier to count and pinpoint. Once again, a lot of improvisation over a structured ostinato. The drummer seems to be emphasizing rhythm over as opposed to rolls in this, but he's still just kind of like throwing in certain kind of beats that just make him kind of front and center. Well, on that one we had some good flute soloing and keyboard soloing over a structured, pointy, kind of angular bass ostinato and great drumming as always. That was False Start by Powerhouse. Before that, Injury Time, and before that, Back to Front. From the 1975 Pure International release, 5+4. All tracks composed by Al Newman, who, a clarinetist, saxophonist, and basically, I guess Powerhouse is kind of like an alias. So in a way, it was kind of like a solo project of his with hired hands. Um, and he has 36 credits according to Discogs, going back to 1956. Yeah, Tubby. Let's see. The earliest I recognize is Tubby Hayes, 1961, and London Jazz Orchestra, Roy Castle. Yeah, European jazz, English and European jazz. Yeah. For more Rubies and Sapphires from the Powerhouse album, see the directory of albums by English P artists linked in the description below. For Red Hot tracks and Tasty Purples from this album, as well as many other English P artists. It's a very plentiful letter in the artist's alphabet, bands, as far as bands and performers go, commonly chosen letter in the alphabet. Like and subscribe and follow me on social media and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the three tracks that we just heard, the layers, the instrumentation, the licks, the soloing, the rhythmic components, and what passages stood out to you. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear travel maximalist, signing off.